Alright guys, and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. We are here resuming where we left off previously, about to explain the reasoning behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony. Alright? So, we have three choices we can make right now. We can go ahead and say Mr. Kudo made a mistake, the ear doctor made a mistake. By the process of elimination, I immediately cross out choice number 2 because that is the most silliest answer right there. The ear doctor made a mistake. The ear doctor is a doctor. He's a professional. And the ear doctor had nothing to do with that, okay? The ear doctor is not dumb, okay? So cross that out. Mr. Kudo could have made a mistake. Or the victim was a phony. We could say Mr. Kudo made a mistake, but let's assume he didn't make any mistakes here. The victim could have possibly been a phony. I mean, we got a phony Phoenix Wright. Why can't we get a phony dead Glenn? Okay, let's go with this. This case is riddled with contradictions. Yet this is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident that the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Oh my gosh, someone get the janitor in here quick! Order, order, order! Order in the court! Settle down or clear out the courtroom! Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out of here? Whoa, what the hell did you just say, boy? Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. I don't think I ever would have guessed this, guys. Ever would have guessed this. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was the servant girl brought him a Javakino, but she put something in it. That's the servant girl, right? There in the defender's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there was no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed what was happening. He wasn't there. He was in the back, remember? That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la, this is most difficult for me. No. It's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath after all. Was there in fact a phony at Trabian that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. Gavel! I agree. The defense's request for additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day, or so help me God, I will smack you with my gavel. No, not the gavel, not the gavel. Gavel! In the restaurant. The victim, Mr. Elg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after that. There were no other customers. Whoa! I won! Whoa! I won $1 million! Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. There was no time for a phony to do the acting. Okay. Just so we're clear, there were no mirrors in the restaurant after all. Yeah, forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. What you have just done is you just committed perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. Oh. Gavel! For now, we will hear your cross-examination. Now, does anyone know how bad perjury can be? Like, does it depend on, like, how bad the lie was? Like, how bad the punishment is? Like, so depending on, like, if it was a little white lie, you know, perjury, maybe you get sentenced to, like, community service, or do you go to jail for perjury, dude? I need to know. I don't follow law like that. You took the perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. In the restaurant. I gotta press this fool. Hold it! I gotta press this fool. Was he alone at the table as well? Yes. I saw him from the kitchen. Yet the defendant, Miss Bird, remembers it differently. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Ha! Unfortunately for you, Trite, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like this reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's not coffee, it's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya said that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. The case is heating up. It's heating up. It is heating up. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Yes. He often comes for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special. I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy. You're most welcome anytime. I said it was worth one sip and nothing more. Oh man, Godot is the trip. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. Let's say, what time was it? We need to know the time. Out of curiosity, what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened around 20 minutes after I arrived, or after he arrived. So the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m., no? Just after 2, huh? So we gotta look for something that might have something to do with the time. I can't sit here all the time now and do nothing, can I? Gavel! The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. I'll do everything. I do it for you. Everything I do it for you. That's French, isn't it? I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. Just after 2 p.m., huh? There was no other customers. Oh, the ticket! Y'all remember the ticket? If he got there at 2, he wouldn't have been screaming that he won, because the ticket said, no, the combat radio. I said combat radio. Combat radio is actually a really radio station with voice actors on it. But anyway, the radio plays that lottery ticket winning, like it basically reads off the lottery numbers, the winning lottery numbers at that time at 1:30. So this is straight a lie. If he had just got there at 2, then he wouldn't have been on the radio listening. You know what I'm saying? So we got him. All right, on the count of 3, everybody's gonna say got him. All right, 1, 2, 3, got him. What? I didn't get him? Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. It does? I don't see anything. What? Oh, come on, I didn't get it. Maybe I presented it on the wrong thing. Whoops, that didn't go so well. What did I show, by the way? Did I show the correct ticket? Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to show the ticket, but I'm supposed to show something that proves that what time it appears. I think I'm onto it. Maybe I just showed the wrong thing. Maybe I showed the wrong thing. Millionaire radio flyer. Yeah, here we go. I showed the wrong thing. That was my bad. That was my bad. Let's run that back. Run that back, everybody. Run that back. On the count of 3, everybody's gonna say got him. 1, 2, 3. Got him! I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Look at that. Even Phoenix said it. He was like, got him. What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece, yes? The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning number of a $500,000 lottery ticket. That must be the show Mr. Elg was listening to. I can't see any problem with this testimony, Mr. Ray. Oh my god, Judge, you don't see it either? I wonder. You said the victim arrived at the restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, I am sure of it. I remember it perfectly now, so you are perfectly sure. I know it was around that time because I just finished serving a lunch menu. Get to the point, Trite, if you have one. That show is broadcast live at 1:30 p.m. You know you done fucked up, right? You know you fucked up, right? And it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Supposedly, the victim made some noise, you know, when it was announced that he won. Oh boy, you see where I'm going with this? And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. Because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. No! I apologize, guys. I turned off my mic. That was on accident. Oh my god, I feel so bad. But anyway, here we go. There is only one conclusion you can draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter acting out the poison 30 minutes after the real murder. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yes, there was 2 Glen Elgs in Trabian that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo, the witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Oh, quite a performance, Trite. You were almost on a roll. What? But sadly, you lacked the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at the time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? In the back, in the kitchen. He was cool with the chef. Oh! If I had to assume, it was in the back, man. The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? In the kitchen! Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Trite. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? We don't even have any evidence, I don't think. What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with the contradiction. But he turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Gavel! Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. L concealed? It had to be in the kitchen, though. Just think about it. It just makes sense that it was in the kitchen because You would want to hide it in the kitchen. You wouldn't want to have it outside. And then on top of that, Mr. Armstrong was in on it. You know what I'm saying? He allowed this to happen. So obviously it was going to be in the kitchen. That's the only... It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Trebian. Interesting. But what could a body have been hidden inside the restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright. It has to be in the kitchen, dude. This is extremely easy. It better go through too. It's got to be in the damn kitchen. I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? You know what? Guess what we found in the kitchen? His prescription bottle. So let's go. Let's show the prescription, the small bottle. The small bottle. The victim's ear medicine found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen. So let's go ahead and show that. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? No. I've never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. Where was the bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Trebian. But I only ever use the bottles for my aromatherapy oils. No. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. It contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. L visited a clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results right here. The contents of the bottle matched a prescription that was given to Mr. L. Glenn L's murderer hid the body in the restaurant in the kitchen. At which time, this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? You know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client Maggie Bird. However, you were setting her up to take the fall behind that poor girl's back. No! Oh my God, he's a murderer! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glenelg? Never! I could have never done such a horrible thing. No! Coffee! Mr. Godot, you're gonna overdose on caffeine. Coffee! The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I'd like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I'd like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend? Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap, listen to me. Por favor. Yo hablo español. Mr. Armstrong and por favor in Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? No, absolutely no. I simply... Let's hear it. If you got one shot, right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. As does my finger. My vigorous finger. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Gavel. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. These are my confessions. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had to hide it in the kitchen because there was a reason I couldn't refuse, but I did not kill him, I swear. You must believe me. You must believe me. You were forced by who? I cannot say. or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. L died, was he really the only person at this table? There was. There was another man. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. Gavel! Get gavel! Gavel, gavel, gavel. You may get gavel, gavel, gavel. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. Gotta break him. Come on, Phoenix. Next time on Phoenix Wright, we're gonna break it down.